Right, I was saying what Jomo Kwaba Efamra get connected Jubedi so be live Globe TV. Tim say by now what join you Globe TV and now we ebi so na what join you YouTube. If you say Jubedi ni sign streaming live YouTube get connected TV. For now the two platforms we and Jubedi on Sabeka so. Now I mean say do na if you say you wo enframani mukwa. That's just obi atimeche digi box no na bibia ekoye kama na bia na bibi ti wo free ana se wo abusuani bia watu kwan wa ama no ne ana se bibi ti o men TV na se dia na obi free ma na o ka se Jumadi we nti o tene ka mu kra no a na je se ni YouTube ne ben no na je o monitor Jumadi no through se de be ya o be te de ekoso sema hodo bi o penchechim na ne se tumi aka ne kama na bibia akoso ti sa bepe de tie we are streaming live on YouTube. And after so we are live on Globe TV and Edumbeya Bibia Edem kama Edem get connected Jumbe Jumedi strong kwa ye Ediesuo ama honorable candidate a compare ko Agyapong say NPP a presidential primaries are ever koso a year January 31st which are fear be animu ya na NPP delegate to something akwa kosi gina ye hwan e na amanyoko no eyi na ba me ka cho say sa gina sie we no e Ghana for and asuma NPP delegates, but you should also know say NPP delegates are equally Ghanaians. Omunyina so ye Ghana for na ebia. Et said dia ye wo school mu a etoda akwanya bi ba se obi gina na ogina nyina nem edi the brave school mu a ye ma ye to aba ne ade keke mbom toto aba eyi nipa ahodo mo di anim sa pepe na ho abehia se NPP amanyuko no ebeyi obi a ode ne beba be gina ma amanyuko no NDC be ye ne de yes CPP PNC amanyoko ni nyina be yes adwumadi no kopem se 28 a general election a man no ahyehye that calendar so trending den betimi abaso whoever party bia de ne beba no any independent people a omba be gina abe pre the bread 2028 no Ghana for any other option than to choose among sa nipa na amanyoko no any ankrankra be yi omatine eba beda krata so no wo mu ba ko ene be yi no e de o mine shebra she disem e year 2028 e ko nanim na je say sa decision we are NPP amanyoko no eteke no a very crucial decision. It can make and also unmake ti say amanyoko no betimi asine na da mu biem abeji tumi biem no a very crucial come January 31st. Whatever decision a delegate will take bia no you should take into consideration and niema hodo bia ansana what don say team and niema obegina so edesi ugina ye no should be say nipa me to aba no as a representative of the NPP party no or ye nipa appeal to Ghanaians saying and a Ghana for ebe we nafa ansana what is agina ye no and one next was andwe ho a messenger nipa na wo to aba no as NPP flag bearer no ordinam because that same message na and now who as delegate in the entire party no ebegina so e dey aton sa particular candidate no to Ghanaians na wo magina so I'm saying Ghanaians because the larger population but who NPP who we here delegates who we here flag bearer we are all Ghanaians obi a Ghana ni but ya cheche makwaku ti ekuo kuma bi kotu anamo ne bana we ya bana ya keka sie ni ansana o man ni nyina ka bom ti na fe ni general election no so this particular one no assigned to the delegate of NPP omo enyenwie wo mu wie a the population ankasa Ghana nyina will decide said their NPP delegate here no o man ne fo aso anasa o man no enfo so this is a crucial moment ewo NPP osonko no amanyukuo no abrabo ne hihia wo mu de gu akwan nyina emu. And I'm sure say delegates afi o hwe me no o dwen bibi o ti mo keka ne ma ba bi si ani say gina sie no kra me si ne say so who said ya service ahodo e ba bontin nyina a kire say delegates ni bebre kra no they've not decided yet. Yes as I say onya abotre now follow niema e kosoro nyina now steady. So if you are NPP delegate won't decide yet take your time listen to the conversation so that you make right decision come January 31st. Follow system na hard there. Over said the system ni mu aye na bi mu de na koya yampia to kasantwi. And it's quite interesting. Nipa ni be call for equity, but they don't come with clean hands. Ohwe amanyuko nim said their campaign ni call now na. They are all following keenly. Niema ekoso ni nyina ni de akire. And na be for titanfide ni nti no. Information e wo be bia obi ansa ka de ekoso. Some of the leaders are omo yi omanim no. Omo nsem ene de ekoso ground, so it does not match. Ti minim say delegate wanya abotre hwe a eye so obenya abotre na watimi ahwe. Makacho so be join e YouTube na dwumedie no stream or live ukwa afọ adwenche no to comment section be kenkan e de amount before I be share conversation as an allegations bi makoso e be yi ni nyina no but yentie yewura Kennedy akompre kwa Agyapong o sin sem ankofo aka ni nyina no wo munya abotre wa yes eagle ene anoma e friend is raven and found the raven e be eagle no onja itu yentie yewura Kennedy akompre kwa Agyapong ye ba na afemi bie nsem ma
mpanimfoɔ sɛ wontumi nko ntɔkwa na ato akeka sesei deɛ akeka ba wonim nneɛma yɛ mayɛ te sɛ aboa ɔkɔdeɛ eagle ɛna adoma bi yɛfrɛ no raven osi ɔkɔdeɛ n'akyi a na ɔsosɔ no ɔkɔdeɛ no ne nsa baako sei ne wings no ɛyɛ 7 feet wobetimi dia bo raven no na nka wa free so enso no woni mini awoye onka ne hwe na wo okosoro a wo raven na wo soso eagle no ontumi enhome na ono ankasa efri esoro abahwefo ti sesei saad maye te se eagle no atemdidi aye di ni nyina no mente he odi no anse mi tu fa ti monye Kennedy Agyapong enye basa and I assure you I'll be a fine
ite yewura Kennedy akopre ko Agyapong and ate nka wo ho no o se ano oye eagle ya no ma me penasem pa me personally I think say enye se o ya no ma keke no but do reading more about aboa. There are a lot of lessons you learn from. Said ya oye ndia man so esi bona brabo. Yewura Kennedy a compare kwa Agyapong say he's now the eagle. Ti they are so ni nipa aka won change. On to aboba park so nyina no they are acting like raven. Anomana ya okosi eagle ne so na ote no. Omfi no fi say onim na boasu ene de wonimu. No ane say ode na ekọ na ode ne nam sa. They will reach a point that the raven can't survive anymore. Not just any na eagle no no so the post abano adanda ne ho. So this is how Yewura Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong. I say now this is the posture throughout the entire campaigning season, you know. This is how Ghanaians are going to see him. Now, say that me catch yourself go for be a preachy equity, but they don't come with clean hands. Yeah, you know we said now no minor could anymore to a point. They're not just peculiar to MPP delegate election. Already national Ghana for Ankasa no. They're moving away from that politics temdidie kasa ntwi ene ensem bia e ka kasa bio ye kasa chechemu kra wontimi nchiremu wie no Ghana for moving away from it. Recent elections are nyina no a testament to their making. Say Ghanaians have moved away from it. And it's enya say the moment you try to initiate a movie that line, Ghanaians will rise. Ghanaians will prompt you, say no, don't go there. How do you feel? You feel that will be out any channel. We are no more heading towards that direction. You move your feel. And it's Bomadiana Chumo for you kind of want here. Ghanaians punish you for sa asordena woyen. It's now who say it is now politicking of ideas or politics of ideas. They are betting me no catch a gun and you know. They are also say ma yes strong kono. No wa catch a gun and you know. And for say a delegate level and I say a general election. No. That is how the Ghanaian is thinking. Now no, we are in a digital age now. Computers, any AI, any information are accessible, are available. And now I'm gonna catch you on this show. Say you can just pick your mobile phone, you open one application or your browser, and you have the whole world in your hands. Information in are available. It's obia ntimi metwa kontompo e me kansem bia ngu sa na okọ sa be na twam Ghana ya bro, maybe people do that kind of politics. You have a kind same baby because you don't have ways and means to prove it or disprove it. Until there be an answer of funny. So there be a more assembly a mechanism. Say what's your assembly for the first time? Say if you be whereby no credit. Assembly a bet you we are sibiano no credit until you find your fact. I just say no credit. Bibia because one gasa asema ni paneka no wuni ho. Wuni wan kobi obi na akwa amanoni aba. And also kokoro we so say won ko hoda and you are here challenging the chair say e ba say ma uluki to say woni dia we ho we ase so anytime obi abema message bia no say woni fatu counter the nipa ne candidate it always perceived said the nipa ne can no correct but with the presence of the digital systems now no meti asem bia free wa I just google I just do my research and find the facts or the otherwise of someone who can say no cry my dear to sampa you were right you were spot on but say no cry now no manya counter information to debunk their okay no and now say to stand up anytime be obviously raise that issue in you so that is it sa pepe na the here and on this show yeah viewers ardent viewers more and more consistent and more show sometimes you just phone in and say you don't really want to even hear anything from the other side of the aisle. Yes, sir, I am a but sometimes what we also need to do is say the American state here until you bring any counter information, just say they are either wanting honey and no crown na me as nipano. I always perceive assembly either honey say no correct. So if be now also disprove here, one check fact near the idea. Oh dear, when him say be a same way cafe area Kennedy one, and you no credit because it's possible because what follow no. What follow show when him how in sema ede banatie anything you know definitely say way there and no correct but there are people also out there at time no everyone you check now what check maybe on you closer to your show way all the time on your facts now when you need so we come here we sit here you take and some not from abontia we also do our checks and bring counter information to it now if we are settled then we move on politics is just marketing you obibet me use negative publicity then crash you down before you know about churchman go for better was there no then it's already done sometimes we will just go there we will answer some questions that was system we bring information what to that particular statement clarify what then we move on to our journey we don't lose track of what we are doing the say more information as it is yes I would say if you ever Kennedy compare Agyapong and catch it near their bro that's what we focus on but when the need be we also cross to the other side, find what's happening, then we fix what is broken out there. Now, if you're queen, come. So that's what we do on this show. Obviously, na edu baby na wanya botre na finu. What mama ya from come baby koso. Era Miracles Abuaje, spokesperson for Era Bawumia. Din wiki mo. Eko chon sembi eguni Facebook. You see, it's supposed to be fair play. Anything sembi owa ehun here say you raise the back conversation. Supposed to be fair play. Yera Kennedy compare Agyapong in an interview Ekoka said and sembe see in the previous year primaries 2023 primaries na course no and then maybe owa anko yi. I don't know if we've shown that video on this show. Oko Isremu one of the constituencies Yera Kennedy compare Agyapong enya 0 ewo ho. But the brown delegates this year, delegates were coming out with pictures or one kasa call ballot box no vote or mo take a shot or mo keep here for reference sake. And they were showing that images to him say when you're 0 because me and kasa I voted for you and I took a shot of it. Now we also the need the aba. So in a conversation, any area can raise that issue and they say he's not going to accept that kind of arrangement in the say nipa na to ama media yen kan adore day no their delegate nipa should prevail. It shouldn't be say kunima na say their your man is one they say they be supposed to be what the people want. Here are Miracles Abuaje call the Facebook and some of you no okay kan in a way no diabolic. This thing supposed to stop. If say a politics of ideas, say you appeal to the Ghanaians voter, and I say the Ghanaian voter right now, we're supposed to stop Sanya Maniema. Ti uko abe for video no so kotwetwe ne ma ne si mu te se yewura Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong NMA MPP among you konu Lucy 2024 general election of which I can was be on this show. I'm not going to it. Say we are going to give any counter information what I say and yewura Ken NMA dey see ya. What by now no yewura Kennedy Agyapong if you monument teacher say what tamale ana problem baby obeko bia was specific message jobs any industrialization. So the others are supposed to bring information be able to make a dim come on. We all analyze because it shouldn't be said the HM and then near my end that kind of propaganda not supposed to stop. And then there was another press conference too, the same thing. You see, it should stop. I say Jai Makacho, you're moving away from that kind of politics. But sometimes if you do not address the issues, it becomes the truth until you say something to it. So I'm not going to address era miracles abuaje the post no. I wish I can share the post no with you on screen. I took a shot by my name as but my mouth accept. I think I have the post here. Or confirm videos be a twitwam near there. I didn't okay see any portraying and I said printing a picture said in some atwam that no is in some way era can now, which is not true. And I'm actually on what era can now opposite or change and answer that kind of agenda that happened last year, especially. It will not happen this time. And it's other side nip or we involved. You're supposed to keep it calm. No be for the insane camera. Then you're fair. Obika we are carboning. Fenema era miracles about the coach on Facebook. I won't read everything, but purely putting the era can out of context. And it shouldn't happen. I'm not even going to read. Oko Facebook, that post is I want to so just go and read it. But I'm not accept because era kwesi kwatin spokesperson for era Ken Agyapong the campaign no. Ono so ababonte di nya no aba. Let me share a bit of their era then is sky and kakra. They will move on to other matters, other important matters on the show and then you read. See post we 1 day ago and right. I say respectfully say this is out of place. As some era can kind of madika catcher say was about say on share MIN money zero brand the pato abamano of which I have videos to that. Our delegates they show videos and pictures share and say we voted for you. Our North. And they say this is out of place. Really not the best of commentary from a flag bearer aspirant. It is an unwarranted threat and may stir up responses from thousands of people to bring up too many issues. Surely say, let's all protect our ballots as it's done in every elections, but votes and numbers are not spoken into existence. You cannot threaten to have votes. He was not threatening to have any vote, as I mentioned. What delegate in the to know NSA county the votes. If you get 0 votes in polling stations, 0 votes will be recorded for you, and nothing can change that. That is what Ayera can say. If indeed you get 0, you get 0 on the collation paper. And you say, will be at Twama, delegate at Twaba, because I hear North. Now, you say one of the aspirants, and how they want to hear stronger, you know, they are over surveys near the idea bar. I've done some surveys with you here on the show. I just said the aspirants, the strength, North. So North, when we buguma, then it affects the southern results never ban. So these things shouldn't happen. And yeah, can't want some operation on TSC. But I one part be okay, and neso a youth wing of NPP in Ashanti region. On press conference on where I think they also retreated and some say you are Ken, Ninsen be okay, and ama abatwa equemono, Uncle Yama Manukono. You know, I don't think this is supposed to continue. I heard that part no kakrebi. Now for yente response, I at the man no quickly. Now so the entire party had to endure and suffer so much from some of these utterances. And I am convinced this time, in the run-up to the 2023 presidential primaries, you sent out similar threats to the central region, categorically threaten the entire world, not because you cannot do anything. Let's move. This commentary at this time, when we have barely 90 days to the elections, looks more like a replay blame of the 2023 contest, where you threatened the entire party should you not win. The entire party had to endure and suffer so much from some of these utterances, and I am convinced this time we will want to be saved from some and trauma going into the 2028 elections. In the run-up to the 2023 primaries, when you ran similar commentaries and was asked what you would, well, I think it goes on and on and on and on. But the main pointer, Era Miracles Abuaji, person or drive home, and he said, Era Ken, then he be or Akeka, and ama MPP, Aman Yokona, Tivendi Kunim, a year 2024 general election, of course, Okroma. But this is baseless. It does not hold water. As at this time, we shouldn't be having this conversation. You know, some people, you don't want us to do this, but it keeps on happening. If we want to move away, then we should stop. I don't want to say much to this particular issue. Ma yenko na fi yenko ti yera kwesi kwatin esquire or no NAS spokesperson Edema Yera Ken campaign team entire team nina. He responded to this particular assertion. Yera Dennis Abuaji Ede ebeton from videos be kan ho kire say Yera Ken na Emma Manyuko na ninkuna. He has response because if you do not counter, it means the echoes will be high. So, for you request quite in the response of the man Miracles Abuaji on this particular issue. There are another issues and also system. We will clear that before we move straight to north. They are ready at echoes also.
Election. And I was asking Miracles Abuaji.
But don't you think, sir, it could have been any factor, sir, and yet a larger contributory factor, at least minute to be kakra?
Arrogance of power, no. Japan no masem na arrogance of power, no. DDP na Japan no masem. Napko 400,000 in Chiomoka na Japan. Oko promises Central so BC airport awensi na Japan no masem. You see, let's be realistic. Kennedy is head of the economic management team. Kennedy in the car say, I'll fix the economy. Kennedy in the car say, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. You make all these remarks, your coalition then you turn around and blame Kennedy Japan. Kennedy Japan, try a turn on. We are not saying he's a spotless candidate. Ken Nipa or an announcer said you'll be our announcer. A busy Ken temperamental, me, I don't see like that. Or you'll be your resource person or the Juma on Sao, very passionate about getting results. A busy say, oh, Ken there or can oh yeah, but dream. You should be more interested in somebody who can fix and put food on your table. What's up, more Juma? Or more Juma now when you're Jimmy, no Bona Jema. A better sin will be a since 92 BC, or also a humble. Most of those who purpose to be humble, they are actually not humble. A lot of them are just weak people, very weak candidates. No Maba, no Ma appear as humble. No Abba, we did from 92 to now, intimate fix say, your health sector intimate fix say, your rules intimate fix say, then the Pakuras have a catcher say, or no, you're humble, tear the trouble man. Scared is not a spotless candidate, but we are saying, say, yeah, they can turn Sanyeni with all the other candidates. In 2028, Ken has a better chance of winning the elections for us. And to be just say, Ken not transfers, Busano and some will be we say, Ken not transfers. Does it include when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate to expose you? Does it include the DDEP? When they fail to pay up, does it include that? When Omokoye promise a man where he central for say Mudada Assembly Airport, does it include that? Ken a start at number 1 week. See, what is the facts? Now there is a Miracles Abuaji. Poor Numasem and a day, a Lusu election. And I was asking Miracles Abuaji.
But don't you think, sir, it could have been any factor, sir, and yet a larger contributory factor, at least minute to be kakra?
Arrogance of power, no. Kennedy Japan Numasem and arrogance of power. Ne Kennedy Japan Numasem. Napko 400,000 in Chiomoka na Kennedy Japan Numasem. So BC airport awensi na Kennedy Japan Numasem. You see, let's be realistic. Kennedy is head of the economic management team. Kennedy in the car say, I'll fix the economy. Kennedy in the car say, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. You make all these remarks, your coalition then you turn around and blame Kennedy Japan. Kennedy Japan, try a turn on. We are not saying he's a spotless candidate. Ken Nipa or on announce said you'll be our announce no a busy can temperamental me I don't see like that or you'll be all your resource person or the Juma someone sound very passionate about getting results.
Or responded to this particular conversation. And then my law here these are facts. I was system and yet allegations. So people will say the command as MPP when you kunana a sin and tuma gufi hata no. A contest at the cost internal it's supposed to be ideas rather. How you appeal to the delegate. But Kobani said one part ideas. Whilst you're doing ideas, no. Now one to tedechi to aboba park so. Till when you are speaking ideas, no, doing propaganda, all sort of propaganda, just to taint good reputations I will build. And this is the area I see quite to fix or in a way of response to it. And these are all kind of straightforward. I'm sure Obia will me be say all these are fact. These are the real issues that cause say the party 2024 general election. Yeah, Obia some of baby. These are the main issues. These are the meats. IMR issues nearby. See, the party is supposed to sit down and have conversations around it. Choose Obia. Obeti me abua. Sabre ya. Sani manima we nyina. It means I may consider bill going into 2028 general election. What was suited for me? Obia always monitor all the TV stations. The morning show near there, and you make political shows in your time now. The conversation out there, no, and they say Ghana for a real Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong. Said the area kwesi kwati kind. Obi anywhere so yeso abofo. Obia ewo bibi won ho a opese wo ka eko negative side that you will get. Obia on the positive sides. But in situations, no, eya na ehwe what the situation calls for. Then a Ghana for years is here. What Ghanaians need now is jobs. And sa economy asema yeka or mine sika sema tetia pan some mine sika sema nko eni ade ade nyina. It's because the country is not producing ade or mine nka say produce ti Ghana no abe import driven country. In sika bi ebe boabo na okroma bia no. Na say what say a Bank of Ghana say bronya na ebanti no. Omo release some dollars into the system. Say the ebe boama cedi to dollar to kwani ade net my stable. What a Bank of Ghana person can change and say, or yet dollars available importers to grab, go outside the country and bring in goods. And for one and Yamania they are from Rekruma. Said they be a benye be the bunya. Because traders nation says almost per dollar no. Eddie are call China ni Europe near the dark of the Abanasi scanning in the now a few dollar no buono ebe costro. Now if you are man ma boa costro. So Bank of Ghana no proactive to check this particular situation. What about say if we are producing some money be here in our kroma? See, instead say dollars are available. Now you are confirm name of China near my hold also the abano. We are thinking outside the box. Now near money in gold now, gold board, no one near there, they cotton bar. Yeah, this kind of to Bank of Ghana to check a year CD to $5 near the other. We can use that Sikano as buffers. Now or minor account mu. Let them be no ye budget na trade surplus. Na ye niaje o minor ekoso. Na my ye sika sema gina ye. But this is how we are thinking say releasing more dollars. And no home come any area Kennedy a compare ko Japan. And Ghana especially or call north no. So we need to produce more. We need to produce what we eat. We use our raw materials to produce and export. It is east say import driven country no, import driven economy no. We would rather be a net export. As the did ye be dia free they produce ni mo de be ka no na de kwa man hold so na akwa koton. That is the conversation. Come on no. It is aside say you Kennedy a compare ko Japan en komo fix employment Emma youth it also fixing the gap by way economy no no. That side na tembia na ban bia ba or try to fix but we are na jiwu nsem no. Say gold ne oil ne ade ye de eyensi echi ba de ama ye cedi no any dollar ntokwa ne other foreign currencies. Etimisa gold timisa. gold corner na ni tuo ni mu no yen sa ase ne ade say no but we have other ways I able to media and sake can other means ebe ma the same forex na e ma o minus on struggle bebre so say see ano galam say for any ade you raising asem ne kese a na buy ne ho so because the government also need gold no to also support your city no in as much say yen pese e be fa kwan bone so atu gold ni ade no to put a ban on mine any ade na buy them penny because gold ne buy be more mine. You are Kennedy a compare kwa Japan say we should look other side of the economy. There are anything traditional way na in kwan. So Malaysia for it to be at the abe it me ye a full economy. Emma uko draw mine mu say yes they have leaders and they've been thinking all this while there. I didn't think they were Benibi. I didn't think DNA. Okay, say okay there what there. It will be a problem. DNA. Yeah, wow will be beer. You will be beer. You will punibi. You will oil nibi. You will be beer. So the aka is to somebody or take. Kwanye first we done than near many. A man for so basso no. You know be or tesa near manas an entrepreneur. Somebody or take business as say. To turn some opportunities into businesses ebe more mind timi akoso into final product ebe timi dia kwa man say dwaso akwa akoto enye ka certain thing who be more either so no so people are still in their slumber people are thinking backward who say the akoso now na you are forward and it no ka say to kosoro sa na fi won ma ka won chenchen so fiafia ho no won bobo bigum ne ade I also monitored another conversation na era Pius Ajide eka se dia esika bi be di era keno brana primaries ne course we ni nkunim no to support era Bawumia campaign. So that conversation no era ken akasa to wait. Say after election no it was on one will in the decision to support a campaign. We can see images of era Bawumia and era ken and almost bus more moving across the country, sometimes on one casa far away, just to campaign. So where your public knowledge, a idea what system. But don't call the other side and also be a propaganda tool. The other side they use you just to say you can edge a bribe of 5 million Ghana cedis and sana or babe campaign. A young comobia open EB. I attack an asmo show you. So go there and just have that conversation. Otaka. And I monitor the conversation. I know Kasiyeva can edge a bribe of 5 million cedis and sana or supporting Bawumia campaign, of which is not true. We have facts on the grounds and in common and you're true. We are delegate now to answer just brush it off. Well, him say nyadi a bit to me SC. Now brand new Pius Ajide Ekas asem na wa Sempa FM. Utie na asem na woka any year. It will tell you say Odi ama yenti Pius enam Ajide quick. Ye mra na afi no ye movie we na yenko ye.
Yera Dr. Brenda Champo oni obi any problem e wo ye party mu. Oni Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia asem bi any omuntem. Won kan be bia da sem obetina party no atete no. Won kan be bia da sa. Omuntem ye enti no se onu nu di nkunimu a enye di ne se Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia eni ni chitafo e be ba be ka no ho. Sanso na Yera Kennedy Okumpreko Agyapong. We have an excellent relationship. Primaries no. Nguko no ba Yera Kennedy afa no. Oti da ye kakra. Yera Branda Champo ne frɛ no. Ehye no kran se da bi entena fie pie. Ye campaign ma wonu apanyin. Ye campaign se wonu aketewa wo se ye campaign ma Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia. But bia wo so sisia na wo free contest mo. Enti bia honde na kofam. Me ka kra ni egie 5 million cedis. Anka ne sika 50 billion G. Pia Bontin Bawumia
Odema
Kennedy Agyapong. That's right.
A car and 5 million cedis.
Not a car.
Okay.
You see, what car? Me car crane.
I'm a car crane. I'm a car.
Debbie.
Me car crane.
Yes.
5 million cedis to say on fan stepping out.
Almost stepping out. Because to be fair to.
I was here at Pius Ajide and Ekasa. That conversation and also quite around social media and other platforms. Ekasi. Yakoma Yera Ken Ska and Sana Obe. Utie Asama Yera Pius Ajideka na. Or say after the contest, no. You also Yera Ken etida kakra. That was a point where you know can say or no one can believe he say he was just coming out of a contest. Intinyesa what here do we are a contest. I did not win. Just after contest, no. I did not win. So if I would join candidate not winning, you know, it will just take time because it's just after a contest. And I'll just come in and support. That's supposed to be established because now same when they raise that conversation, I'm people having this conversation around. So it was just out of the primaries, the contest. And our chair said, Yera Brian, Efre, Yera Ken said, Ophelia said, just after the contest, no. As I saw Boa Yera Bawumia or campaigning. Yera Ken had make a statement to it. Say he came out of free will to do it because he loved the MPP party and he wanted to do it. And Yera Pius say, out of Yera Brian will, based on their occasions here, no. And I'll say, Mrs. say, you are just coming out of a contest. And 5 million Ghana cedis campaigner because you are coming out of a campaigner, any electioner, we'll lose a lot of resources. So if some just say we still need to push and you can see it that, then I also need to support Adina American. That was as some Yera Pius Ajideka here. And how do this amount to say yeah bribe will be answer our campaign? One of our friend let's say indeed they happen here. Say Brian Echo Yera Ken and now so to have a conversation. One of our men asked me didn't come say Yera man who's a wabre there why any says baby able do no but we shouldn't back off. Ye nyina ye mmoa then koso but me who ni say baby able do no. You spend a lot of resources so I want to support them any worker say yenye no with this. How does this amount to? Say obi ko discuss one be campaign. But aside the no cry no, yenti request kwata bro ni se twofo kasa biom. He made a statement. Said during campaign a year 2024 ni mo no. Listen to amount of scanning campaign a year Ken a year to support said the BIPP a bit my retain power.
Brian paid money to as a women can was that me ya go probably try to me post and say respond no this is the briefing I have but my main answer from this way yet to abani can visit a minimum of 100 constituencies or the fancy 100 no on my each constituency 100,000 Ghana cedis to assembly you 100,000 Ghana cedis multiplied by 100 constituencies 10 million cedis and it will be say or no na ma Ken 5 million and sana or move other 5 million so for him common sense logic. You could be in a position opportunity. You could be in a certain position by virtue of a position or campaign. It be a campaign funds be there. 95. And this be a papa campaign juma. Now cause any campaigns he can be no. Any also okwa jefabua aspirants na. That cannot be said the same. What kind of logic is that? Obi or no cost spending 10 million on his own. Yes, or no cost buy 5 million. Who does that? So no call 100 constituencies on my each parliamentary candidate. Now why do we answer say Brian Agyapong ko bribe Ken and sana Ken akoye juma na Brian so yes sir there is no way Brian himself best sorry akọ Ken or say me ko bribe and sana why juma no I've given you the facts that the facts are that Ken no crack 100 constituencies minus ni team hotel or mutuai security odi move ye edidi odi ye cars ye de be ko fuel ye beto service ye be ye no Uma 100 parliamentary candidates, no, Uma Obia 100,000 Ghana cedis, and we 10 million Ghana cedis. Okay, the 10 million, no, which I say, so almost said Dr. Brian Agyapong, a bribona. You see, there is a difference, say, Ken Wako contest every no boka be brave. Now, honorable, so all rounds of there, Meso may boa with parliamentary candidates in A amounts. That's completely different. And your own team, no, and of course, Brian.
And it's Yera Kwesi and I'll tell you, because Yera Kwesi is spokesperson, my Yera Kennedy accompanied Agyapong. But Yera Kennedy, and I played that video to you before I started this show. Said now, no, he's just like an eagle, any ravener or Tete, no, he won't say anything to it. But it doesn't stop Yera Kwesi as the spokesperson of the campaign to give responses to some of these allegations. Because I catch on politics sometimes thrive on propaganda. If you sit aloof, say Kankwa, it becomes the reality. Because until say about the fact, and then the other side of the conversation, me and America say I always see assembly or about team be I say no correct. Or more here by we are seeing some people buy a team, you know. Most of them. What's what you mean now? But you need to believe it because say you that man assembly see now you. What the end say you know, then you read, you ask questions. Now if you will get your answers, so that you position yourself very well to appreciate and some what system say the end no correct, and the end no correct. I'm ready age threshold that yeah papa to guide you and control because I'm not what's in the doors. Sometimes you be now why confused. But papa near that you know older people should guide you. Who do you take your decisions? You don't take decisions no quack. You read, you listen, you ask questions, then you get understanding BS winner. When I answer my cost abonting, uti sema you request kwatin kan during the previous general election, no. See Raken, one constituencies crown there, about 100 of them. Of visitors are constituencies in the PC Biana or Shiano, a parliamentary candidate Biano. You Raken out of one free will, no. Emma Womo 100,000 Ghana cedis. And up to this point, you anticipate PC Biaba Bontia because said, you Raken ever impetuous now, some of you request kwatin kan in no credit. So we have visited about 100 constituencies. Now say, one map PCBR 100,000 cities, and you multiply and you get 10 million. So that conversation now, people more pedal out there to throw dust into the system to see say you can crab lose about one more. It's nowhere near. And then Crophobia delegates be a say after election we know results be a baby no you can obey day the unity near the other. This is supposed to tell you say even last year election you can and the one so anyhow he still supported in his capacity. They said you'll be me abobia. So it's all clear why you move from this point. And he said this conversation is still ongoing. These are the facts. Said yeah, era kwesi kwate edia mayeno. We're supposed to stick to this one. Now therefore we enquire na ensem no intimate to baby a eseto. We are now doing politics of ideas. Enye ensem keka bia emfantoma. So sem bi wo ha emwa. When I'm so I said turn on no for say henfa. Penifo bi ko gina state ko can some now the delegate is much more discerning. Opeso tie court sa turn on not corona ne bono region is ampisu and so on. He gave them reasons to select him as the flag bearer for the party. Solid reasons. As original so to abamano. Enye rhetorics. Okasa ye bisa mu questions now if you who dia wonka. We won't play that video. I'm sure say when we see that video now. But this is to wake us up. Say we should give ideas. Name be to me abua ama enema etina to na akoso kama. Maybe be akoye. Call YouTube or call live streaming na see a comment section hono. O kwa na we ja message no e wo ho. Brepam ne beba na abekenkan ni nyina. We Get Connected show streaming live on Get Connected TV. Hi Globe TV. Na anyway yebo rem na afi no ye rem wo north na kacho say ra Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong na probo no e wo north no sha se free savannah ha na ye say wo twa ne ho saa kanko saa san abesi tamale sabra me no kase ya one abusuafo e wo tamale etwetwe nkomo enne nyina damu ni nyina na tamale so I was monitoring the na ekoso from tamale north to tamale central all these conversations no ekoso Sanerugu near the Adima se Honyana or Kone delegate no Komo. The message or demano it's not quite different from messages our Bab Buno East or my message or call a year Savannah or Dema the same message. Say our agenda or plan for this country. Maybe I'll be doing now as an entrepreneur. No, who said there's so much we can do as a country. Everything about mine or mine no Atimia Koso. Now, yen na yen hwenen fa yen nko na mo mine no enti ma yen mo ram ne yen kotamale. Era Ken, some messages, some powerful speeches, Emma era, and the union may war extreme. So Yanfa way now, son, I call a long one now, I can't want some. So Yanfa, dear, a way in Mudadano. They have someone a Tamale North for a didn't come on or the 2 women in na a few meters.
You pack ways who hear certificate. Ways who hear certificate. As you MPP for more drink and until no mamma delegates. Moko kasa chirem konfo no mo to abamaye enso eduru si ya winning power na pa bibidia yes certificate where is the certificate we mesra only obia benya no so ni na adwuma enipa wo wiase a wani munyam ani oyoba woman organizer said that bia na wukun kwa na beyiska omu we are bear man so that be now you could drum and what the other who move. But who started say who ye Juma? From grace or so down now from me and or chop money more. They can't make me here. And so no, it didn't move the propaganda beba. Say omu message bina san omu aka promise bibia omu antini ade have hope say Ghana and say na mom can di for what business ase and ye here do pack ways who hear certificate as you MPP for more wadwen enu nti no mama delegates moko kasa chirem konfo no mo to abamaye enso eduru si ya winning power na pa bibidia yes certificate where is the certificate we mesra monyimeni benya no so ni na adwuma enipa wo wiase a wani munyam ani wadwuma oyoba woman organizer said that bia na wukun kwa. I want to assure you two things. When I'm the president, I'm going to do for the 5 northern regions is to move Ministry of Agriculture to Tamale. I'm also going to convert Tamale Airport. About 90% of Tamale Airport, we are going to use it for cargo terminals. Or I saw vegetables on my way. From here to London Market is 5 hours. We are going to produce vegetables in abundance and export it from 11 p.m. by 5 a.m. is at UK and European market. We are also going to build fertilizer plants here. We need a fertilizer plant in the 5 northern regions especially because of the nature of your land. We're going to mechanize our farms, our lands, and everything. But before we do that, we need a fertilizer plant here. You are very close to Tamale. There's no difference. So take advantage of what I'm telling you. Go and look for a land. I need 40,000 acres and challenge me if I will not be able to do it for you to see. Whether I win or not, give me 40,000 acres and see the factory I'm going to put here with the farms. A piece of advice is that I've been here to talk to you about what I can do. So let other aspirants also come and talk about what they can do. But I know we don't have a message because they gave all these messages and they couldn't do it. So now they've resorted to lies, propaganda. Oh, Agyapong has insulted MPP. Agyapong has taken money from Mahama. Agyapong is the one who killed Ameswali. Would all these things put money in your pocket? Would it put money in your pocket?
Say, I was here, Kennedy, a compare ko Agyapong, editing in about 2 videos from North. Na proba warbono. But last one where you boy na it's rich, it's pregnant with a lot of information. Let's say na ye ka ho. So I catch say Ebra Yera Ken Eka say Ghana for Emmanuel Kwan na MPP delegate eto abama no. Na obedi MPP Emmanuel Kwan nanim. Na subsequently Ghana for decided on him come year December 2028. The first action of Beye say Emmanuel Kwan is to move the Greek ministry to the north. Because when I said that on other colleagues edi nkoma we always discuss it okọ esire mu a esase ne da kwan so saa kobim so be wura tamale wonim and utwam ekwa we've moved around our area near there because of a job near there. So now what we are doing is to move agric ministry to that place. Go to move assassin so what you do is to move ministry now. To Tamale. That is easier to do than say obetana and crying. Now the information to solve problems. No. And this is laudable. Where you be at, why Jane I didn't watch it, I find the solution. And also make a point, so aside we're supposed to have fertilizer manufacturing factory. Because be a production there, you're supposed to also produce your own fertilizer. Then say Ukraine, any Russia we will chroma, I'm on a boy buy and say fertilizers, and it's our area one neighbor. Because of a tokwanintino. Enyadia fertilizer ne buy until I'm a year some time ago. You know, by your account, you say, your company, factory, I will produce fertilizer. Now, for you find Nuya and no buy no. You do not buy any via. It's I say, yeah, you have a Biamana Yakamano. I say, obey your Biania, you be the aside and no. Okotamala airport or hono. Yan turn the airport into a cargo. To instead say be a Nippon Kwan, a bedi, a shamefrenia, the Adnafeno. Yeah, benya planes a low requirement on it. So straight from the farm gate, no. At the end of panel will be mine so. Fresh product. And this will bring Zikana Yep and the foreign exchange, no. Well, laudable idea. Obia who follow said ya a mamwe se echo, any baby are touching, any baby are enco you will see that these are solutions. And yes, yeah, campaign, Eddie to make a kill. These are solutions. These are pragmatic faso a service a problem na e wo kroma ye edu ba be enya bia ni ndi na esika sema ye basa no. So this is solid. Also what candidate area chile delegate and he sure say other parties also will come around to also but other parties ne ba dey no mbabeka bibia ni mbabeka we echi no de ebe bia no ebe ye na wayesi ni ada. Then that's also true. And the share me show na that conversation na na ekoso baby ya multi platforms as delegate osigina ye January bosume da to so aduasa baako se wo di decisions ene nsem a wate ideas a wate na esigina ye hwan ena wo to abama no as NPP flag bearer hwan based on nsem a wate if now Ghana for your movie from rhetorics any any politics of insult any nsem any propaganda now ye can ideas they will be all ideas, will be all practical solutions to Ghana. They were Kennedy a compare kwa Agyapong and I clear to delegates. You know we should enter Abamano. Na Ghana for a wrestle and decided a year 2028 general elections. Sankobani Sadia. I just say yes, I this and some dada na Ghana for him. Ako kan sem ma sem bubu nsem agum. Asamba akọ obeka no esa say ho wasem this is chirim. That was what happened in 2024 election. Tembia you need to come back and add information to the other mind no. But okọ bonte na okachi obi say aban ne ba konwa so a obey factory abeye we nipa na wo kasa obey factory no so wo factories ni bebre. Obu amanten or factories ni bi wo me ahodo bebre a ya de kro na wo so oba beye na. It becomes much more easier for you to sell that person out than say obeka say wakoton obi dada what the niam akodwa ya nto na woko odwa so no na nipa wodwom na ka chew say eniam a wode ba ye die enemom ka wode we ba edwa so de a nke ebedom atobia ma wanya kakra de ahye ho na kofi wafiri dwa so ya nto ade niam ankoyie okoda ye na ade san chie na so besan akodwom biom wokodwom na ase daabi me ko dwom no omo se dia me de bae ne de omo ani nje ho omo ka de omo pede ba me na me ye producer me na me di medwa omo po omo mpeo dia me de ko na no manto no na me de be ko na mu me kwa na ma ko de fe omo amomato ma ye ko esirim ye wa kede akopɛ ko Agyapong ɔda so wɔ hɔ ɛnɛ ya awie ya ne nsɛm bi a ɔkaeɛ it was live ɛna agya yɛakyere bi agu hɔ yɛnkɔtie no ɛwɔ saneregu ɛbɛa na ɔne ɛyɛ yɛnnua mu wɔ hɔ ɛtwetwe nkɔmmɔ yɛba pɛ mebie lines na ma no afra aba so ba asɛm na mekaeɛ no dwen ho fa ne sɛ waa na wakɔ dwaa so dwen ho ma me de ade kɔɛ no yɛntɔ ba dwom fo na kɔfa wɔ ebra ɛfa sɛ ɔde ntoma ne kɔɛ ɔmo sɛ o kuroma de obiara wɔ ntoma na emom ka de pan no ba ɛde a ka enya ɛbɛtɔ bi akoto fie ne abubu adi o sɛ ekɔ dwom a o de pan no a edwom fo no sɛ ɔmo pa tɔ ne bɛkɔ ana ntoma no wanya tɔ ne de o ma ne o de na yɛnkɔ esirim na.
And you are deceiving them. Now let's wake up. We should listen to the candidate Ghanaians want. What we want. Let's vote for Kennedy Agyapong. Because when you go to Masalachi, they say Kennedy Agyapong. When you go to church, they say Kennedy Agyapong. In the schools, women are saying Kennedy Agyapong. What do we want? It's power we want. So constituency executives have opened my arms. Come and let all of us work together. Because if I win, I cannot do it alone. I'm going to manage the country with all the party members as well as Ghanaians. So feel free. I have nothing against anybody. It's within the party. Everybody has a choice. So I'm not mad at anybody. But this time, listen to what Ghanaians are saying and vote for Kennedy Agyapong. Tamale Central, I have good news for you. The thing I'm going to do is to move Ministry of Agriculture to Tamale. Because Choboy asked me why. Because in Ghana here, the 5 northern regions, if we have a businessman to lead this country, we can use 5 northern regions and Volta region to feed the whole Africa because of the land you have over here. So, they are also going to fertilizer plant here. We are also going to convert about 90% of Tamale Airport as cargo terminals, so that all the produce will go to London market, European market from Tamale here. So, I have lined up investors, and they are ready to come and invest in the 5 northern regions. South to do Kayayo. The Southerners will also are going to be in the 5 northern regions, especially Tamale. So
I was here Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong we na you made a koso e wo Tamale na probo unity tour no ho e no wo sa abre a chese and home for ni kakra de abre wo no my ma kwana fo adwenche bra e na nwume o show ni so na yetumi enko oba so I get connected no wajisu so obi anya obi a wadwenche no na wo de abetop no so na yekoyedem delegate said the ansem na tie no you Kennedy a compare ko Agyapong nensem no emuda ho what the kudwa so a ye beto na said the city no so no so any niam o man no ehia utie said the ankomo no eko baby a you just wake up just listen to and someone eko so and what even the other political parties are saying now if you take your decision I'm sure you will come to terms with the conversation around you Kennedy a compare